Tom.
Hello, Happy Health Habits crew. We are glad to have you on May 10th or 11th? 10th, I think.
10th.
10th. And whether you're here, whether you're recording, we're happy to have you, or listening to recording. May 10th, can't believe it already. So this is a fun month because we're springing into summer. We're starting to see the green, right? And we're starting to, I'm going to just screen share here for a minute. We're starting to see the newness of the world come to life, right? So congratulations, loving yourself enough to live a healthy lifestyle, listen to a recording, or attend live today. So congratulations, put a little love on yourself. Give yourself a little love hug today, love pats. Take a few deep breaths, right? Let's get into this relaxation mode, out of the way of the world, which is nutso. Keeps getting more nuts. So take some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, into your belly. Remember why we're doing this, because we're trying to help each other stay plugged into our crystal clear vision of the best version of ourselves. And we want to understand this is a journey. So we see the road here. And I personally have been committed to the road of personal development for decades now. I have been in relentless pursuit myself personally of shedding the old unhappy self that I was, with all the old coping mechanisms and things that didn't serve me and things that made me miserable. So it's a relentless pursuit of knowledge. And I just coined myself I coined myself a new title actually yesterday. I'm not a diet coach. I'm a learn it, live it leader. Learn it and live it. No, live it and learn it leader. Live it and learn it leader. Isn't that cool? Because we're not on a diet. I was trying to talk to this new gal, and she's, I said, well, okay, but you're talking about a diet. What we're talking about here is if you do this, if you're with me, this is a live it and learn it process, not a diet, right? So love it, I love it, live it and learn it process. So we're in process all the time. We are learning that in this process, the most important number one thing that we all need to do is regulate that nervous system and get our nervous system calm. And Dr. Anderson called it heart coherence. Get our nervous system in sync with our brains and our bodies. And this week on his chat, or last week on the Conscious Leader program, that he talked about how much, right, technology is just keeping us so scattered, right? So the number one thing for us to do is to really stay centered and grounded, reduce the scatter, make sure that we are getting our heart coherence and our nervous system calm, because then we can make those educated decisions that will lead us from contentment to fulfillment, instead of burnout and worn out, right? So we know what to do, but becoming the dominant force is not easy. And how to do that, how to become the dominant force and really contend most effectively, is to make sure that we are learning the fine art of relaxing and controlling our emotions, and conscious breathing. Element 4, make sure to review that conscious breathing stuff all the time. And using the self-soothing links that I've probably sent each of you individually. And if there's any that you love, Carrie or Kitty or even Candace, that you're using right now, feel free to put them in the chat if there's a great quick link you like to share with people. I know Michelle Licata loved the Instagram one that someone shared. So that is you can feel free to share it with others. So in May, okay, just focus on, we're early on in May, round 2 of the eHealth Challenge. I am personally, if you're not in the eHealth Challenge, that's fine. You can still use the app if you want to join and focus on a micro habit. I am journaling I'm journaling what I eat. This has been my big goal, and I've done it for I did it all last month, and now I'm week 6 now, and this has been a really big challenge, making sure that I'm aware of actually what I'm eating um, instead of just kind of willy-nilly, since I'm back in my, I'm in 3 and 3 essentially, and I'm in sustain mode. So what macro habit are you focusing on this month? And pick a little baby thing to do every day, like my recording, right? What is it that you're going to do in rounding out your circuit, your habits of disease, making sure we integrate them into our lives in a much better way, so that we have more balance and harmony, and then plugging in each week to all the pieces of our puzzle. So I just told we're talking about charging our phones. If we let our phones and or batteries that are rechargeable go down too much and go empty, they don't recharge well the next time. So don't ever let your charge go empty, and stay plugged into all your stuff, because it's harder to reboot or recharge. Wouldn't you agree? If you let your charge go all the way out, it's a lot harder to get your mojo back on again. So I'm excited. Sandy's walking, so I'm excited to see she's back on track with her mojo. I'll stop screen share so we can see each other, but we're going to start go around and celebrate wins, and also let's share some share your teachable moments, share the times where you have an opportunity to um, learn and grow and step out of your self, and really learn, put things into application. So let's talk about some of the wins. And I want to talk particularly, if you have your life book in front of you, this week Monday was the dominant force in your life. The dominant force in your life was the focus. So I have some notes I want to share with you about that at some point, because there was some really great points there. Page 122 in the life book, I think, is really applicable for that conversation about being the dominant force. So if you have your book, The Healthy Mind Shift, get this picture up. Okay. And then be thinking about what wins or what teachable moments that you want to share today in terms of your learning. All right, so I'm going to stop screen share here for now so we can see each other. One last thing is commit to health. Before I forget, May is commit to health. So through the end of the month, they're doing a spring into summer discount. So if you have a buddy that you want to buddy up with, there's the $75 off the first month and then 98 off the second. So you guys could kind of people could if you have a friend who wants to come along with you, you can split it with this for the savings. It's a good opportunity. So let me know if you need some help with that.
Yeah, great time for a reboot or grab a buddy.
Right, grab a buddy or a reboot. Yep. So, and yeah, both benefit. Win-win all the way around. So who wants to start with a teachable moment or a win of the week? Anybody want to share? First off? Candace is like, what do I have to share?
Yeah, so many. Which one do I pick? That's me. Oh, my microphone just on? Oh, okay. Well,
what's that?
Was my microphone on? Did you guys hear that?
It was.
I was thinking out loud.
It was.
But yeah, I'm just gonna go off what you said about if we reach burnout, if we hit 0% on our phone, on our body, it does take longer to recharge. I experienced that again recently. So when you said it, it was like, oh yeah, that's what that meant. Don't let yourself get that low. Just like in small increments, take that to a 1%. Don't let yourself get hungry. Don't let yourself get thirsty, because by the time you're feeling it, you've gone too far.
Yeah, you've gone too far. Quite right.
So,
quite right.
I mean, big old leader here.
So in what way did you get too low? What macro habit were you feeling like?
Oh, we'll just say all of them. By the time you hit burnout, they're all gone. All the resources are used up. It was not enough sleep, too much physical activity, and emotional meltdown, hangry, obviously wasn't eating. I was totally dehydrated. All those things. It's like, well, that's why I reached burnout. And had to call an emergency recovery session and I had to cancel plans. So it's like, yeah, you like freak out. I have to shut my phone off. You mean I can't take my phone with me? I have to leave it plugged in? What? Yeah, sometimes we have to
Mhm.
do that to our body. Cancel
So,
everything and go plug in somewhere.
so what did you learn? And what I'm hearing is that the really teachable, really cool, positive thing is that you are actually aware of the burnout and what led up to it. So in terms of what happened, what did you want to have happen, what's missing, what's next, right? Page 136.
Yeah,
You
unfortunately, the big awareness came after the fact, but
right.
now I see that there were little signs.
So
Each of the micro habits
so
were
let's
lacking.
let's walk through this. So what happened was you had a burnout, total meltdown, blah blah blah. What did you want to have happen, and then what's missing?
Well, of course, I wanted to achieve everything that I'm not humanly capable of. I wanted to be Wonder Woman, Superman, all put together, and
Ah,
it just doesn't work that way.
mm-mm.
You can't do all the things.
So what was missing was that you
Balance, reasonableness, modesty.
reasonableness. Okay. So you were not being reasonable with yourself and you weren't
Yeah.
respecting your
And I
limitations.
find I'm actually so much more pleased when I do a little bit, but do it well,
Mhm.
than do everything and whatever. I feel like crap. So why did
So
I
you weren't
bother?
honoring your limitations, you were just thinking, too big.
Yeah.
And so what's next?
And I think we tend to do that. I mean, mega, mega, mega to-do list.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's why we can't.
Who am I talking to?
Yeah, oh, I know. You're talking to the queen of, oh, I can get all this done in a day. Oh,
So
that's
I just did my to-do list today and I got one thing done and I felt great.
the hardest lesson for me to learn is that I cannot get that whole list done. Honestly, that is so agonizing to this day. I still fight that. But so what's next is you're gonna do what? What's next?
Fuel frequently,
Fuel frequently,
hydrate
hydrate
regularly.
regularly. Okay.
I'll
And
work on sleep next year.
yeah, that's fine. And download the Habits of Health clock. It just gives you a way to a worksheet of okay, what
Oh yeah, tell me about your clock, calendar, and a circle.
yeah, download the
What's
Habits of Health
up with
clock.
that?
It's on habitsofhealthresources.com, habitsofhealth.com resources. But that gives you a worksheet to work with. I just was telling Carissa this morning, we can't manage time. It's impossible. We can't stop time. It's impossible. We can only schedule time. That's the only thing we can do. We can only schedule our time and we can only control what we do with our time, but we can't, like, the train keeps going, right? So then this is what I've come to appreciate, which you pointed out, is that the Habits of Health clock
Hold it
is,
closer in front of your face.
it's
Let
the
me see it from here.
Optavia, the Optavia circle,
Oh yeah, all the spoons for every
yeah,
hour.
Optavia circle.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
this matches my calendar and it has the hours on it, 6 a.m., noon, not and then 6 p.m. and then midnight. And she pointed this out that I didn't realize, but it goes right along with the Optavia Habits of Health clock. So my calendar goes this way, right? Instead of running out straight up and down. I used to have time was running out and my to-do list was oh, I gotta hurry up and get it done at the end of the day because time is the hourglass. The sand is running out and it costs me stress, all constant stress.
But that's so profound that time is cyclical. Time
Mm-hmm.
is linear. It doesn't stop. But it
Mm-hmm.
you got another tomorrow.
So make yourself a circle, use the Habits of Health clock, and it's right there. Download that thing and make yourself your own little something, something. But if you do that,
And I think it was
are you gonna
Sandy or Margot or a bunch of you were saying, if you failed today, we don't call it that because you can start again next hour. You can
right,
fuel again in an hour or two or three.
right,
And that was like, whoa, that was huge for me. So it's not like the day is gone, the day is wasted.
right.
It's like, okay, that hour didn't feel so great, but let's start this hour.
Yeah, look
Is
at
kind
all
of what you're saying. Just keep it going.
lots of other hours, yeah, in the day to make those other choices. So you're gonna use the clock and that whole schedule your timing and do you need to set alarms?
I hate alarms, but yes. That's how I got here at noon, a couple of
Post it
minutes
down,
after.
whatever works, whatever floats your boats.
I had 4 alarms to get here today.
Okay. I just like alarms too, but you got to do something, right? So thank you for sharing that. Really profound. How about you, Sharon, Sandy, Kitty? You have a win or a teachable moment that you want to? Yes.
I actually told someone, no, I can't do that,
What?
which is a big score for me.
You said
I mean, I did it in a nice way, but I just said, no, this just won't work for me.
Yeah.
Too much.
Boundaries.
And it's the hardest
It's hard,
word
right,
to
Kitty?
say. Yeah, it is such a hard word.
It is a complete sentence.
Congratulations. That is fantastic. Oh, you're muted yourself, hon. That's awesome.
Well, and I actually don't feel guilty about it. That's the other really good thing.
That's even better.
And there's nobody on the page, by the way. I love you all.
That is even better. That is.
But no doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love yourself.
Oh, it is. And you know your limits. It's like part of being modest.
Yes. Yes. And I want to commend you, Kitty, because you are a fighter in the Monday night. Who listened to Monday night? Anybody the recording Monday? Anybody?
Part of it.
Dominant force. I love the guy who was really raw at the beginning about he battled with the word being the dominant force in his life because he felt like he's being prideful and it felt yucky to him, and he had to rationalize. I don't know if you guys heard that, rationalize, what that meant. And he said he really likes the word contending, which we've talked about before. You're contending like a boxer standing up in a ring. You're contending for your goal versus wrestling on the ground with it in a struggle. So changing the language from contending to struggle. And I love that. I will hang my hat on that forever. But he took it another step and was talking about that whole prideful thing. And I thought, yeah, you're right. He said, I didn't get into coaching to be prideful. I wanted to help people and be responsible for my own health and well-being on a higher level. And what I've been really meditating on recently is the fact that responsible and responsible, I don't even know, responsible is not even a word, but I don't like the word responsible because that just is, it's like, who wants to be responsible anyway? Like, you know what I mean? Like it sort of has to me this sort of negative connotation. No one wants to be responsible. But if we could shift it, I've been shifting it to I'm responsible. I really am able to be to make the choices for myself. So Kitty, you were responsible by knowing your limitations, saying no, you were able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. For me, that's just my aha moment in the last month or so. I just love that little tweak of perspective, which is what Dr. Anderson is talking about. Just always be in a workshop. Be workshopping your emotions, be aware of them, be thinking about them, be, analyzing, well, what is it about this that is bothering me? And really be, your emotions are thought. They aren't you, they are things, they're not you. So be analyzing those things. Does that make sense, Kitty? I don't know if that helps you at all, but I like it. That was very responsible of you as you go into your new identity and your personal growth continues. You're at a new level of creating your new identity.
I'm glad you brought that up about the Monday night guy, because that was actually the point that I'm going to go back and re-listen to that part, which I didn't do, but I at least listened to it. And did I see your hand, Sharon, go up when
Sharon,
the Monday night?
I watched it.
What did you get at?
Well, we just get one body. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
So this is it.
This is it. Yeah, that's what the gal said, or the guy said. This is it.
So I guess that was one big thing.
Mm-hmm. And she said this is it, and she said she would hit what? She hit rock bottom. And
yeah, I think.
And that was her realization point. But it's like you can tell somebody, but if they're not ready,
right,
it doesn't mean a thing.
I think that was what brought her to the this is it concept, is like she finally realized she was at rock bottom, and she's like, this is it. And she said, I realized my emotions were not managed. I had no clue how to manage my emotions, right, Sharon?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was an emotional eater.
Yep. Yep.
I mean,
What was it? She even slapped her kids' hands. They reached for an Oreo. No, that's mine.
Did you
Yeah.
identify with her, Sharon? What else did you get?
um,
Sharon, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no, I just that she was, yes, an emotional, everything was, her eating was based on, every different feeling she had.
Right. Right.
She would, and
Have you had that too?
oh yeah, in the past, I'm just like realizing that, yeah, okay, if something didn't go right, go eat something.
Do you still
So now,
you still do that?
no, I haven't been. I've been drinking water.
Since you started with the system and the plan, is that what you mean? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
That's
I'm not finding food to, to calm that emotion down.
woo-hoo, bravo.
It's
That's a
So,
biggie. You're
yeah,
a quick learner.
You are a
um,
learner.
I need to hang around Sharon more.
Yep.
well, my win is, let's see, I'm on 38 days without any sugar, so that's just yeah, a wow for me.
Sharon, what did you do that you were really scared to do that is a huge win besides going 38 days without your sugar? Because she's an admitted sugar. I'm outing you, but she's an admitted sugaraholic, right?
Yep, admitting that.
And she came out of the closet and she did something really scary. What'd you do?
Something really scary. Posted that?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Oh
Did
yeah,
you
okay.
Yeah, going public is scary.
Yeah.
Go to she went to the Optimal Life group and she posted in our group but it's our national group, and she go and comment on her post. She didn't put pictures or anything, but she made a very profound statement, and go cheer her on, because this is big, isn't it, Sharon?
Yeah, that is really big.
Really big, and it's part of your
I've
recovery.
Yeah, and I've tried that before. I don't know how many days before I got, but and like I've been through multiple social events with a lot of sweets, and I just like, okay, got to turn my back on that. Go drink something, or if it's time for a snack, go have a fueling. So
did you feel like you struggled on the mat, or you stood up and boxed it, contended? Little both?
Both, yeah. I want to say both, just because there was, favorites that there were there. I'm just like, oh no.
Oh no.
Can't do that. Don't want to start that. There was a story of, I listened to Element 15, I think it was, and the video on YouTube, 15 or 16, I can't remember which one it was.
16 is the addictive foods one.
Yeah, and about the gal who ate one bite of a cake or something, and she had to have sweets for the next 30 days. She was having so I'm like, oh boy.
One bite.
That's scary.
Bite. Yep. That's everybody go back and review the webinar. Absolutely. The webinar and the links, and do the quiz, because it really is, Sharon, and you get this, is an addiction, just like a drug. If you have one drink or one, I don't know what, marijuana or whatever, it's just
sometimes even a whiff of it is enough.
Yeah, it's just that one sometimes that can kick you over if you're really an addict, which is why I really had, when I was in Overeaters Anonymous and stuff, my sponsor would always tell me, because I'm like, that one thing can kick me off. I have to be very, very careful. But she always said, think about it like when you see your favorite dessert thing, and that your response is going to throw you off for 3 days and 1 bite, or 30 days for one bite. just go, just say to yourself, that's poison. It's poison. It's got a big poison sign on it.
Yep.
So shift in your mind. So congratulations. I mean, that was really big. That was
And
really
I-
That
big.
was amazing. So
ma-
proud of you,
made-
Sharon.
made that long. So I'm like, whoa, why can't I just keep going,
Keep going, one day at a
But-
time.
Yeah, that helping to listen to that element, and made it pretty real that what can happen.
What can happen? Yeah, what can happen, and what has happened in the past probably to you before, right?
Yeah. Yep. Just one bite. Oh, okay,
And
that took care of everything that you worked for.
Yeah. Has anybody else identified with that ever? Yeah. Candace is like, yeah, that'd be me. Yeah. So good job, Sharon. It's part of your recovery. This whole even sharing it is and admitting it is part of your new identity that you're creating. So keep it up one day at a time, right? One choice at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time. So congratulations. It's fantastic. What about you, Candace? You have a win or a teachable moment, or Sandy? Tom, you're welcome. Hi, Margot.
So I had a guest for 2 weeks, and so that was very enjoyable. She needed a very low key time. She was in burnout, and so we just did things very slowly and as we felt like it, and we didn't give into any shoulds, like we should be doing this or we should be doing that. And instead of taking me 2 weeks to recover from a 2-week guest, it's only taken me 2 days. So that's nice because I know myself. And when I used to have somebody stay with me just for like 3 days when I would have a convention, that would do me in. And what I discovered is if I overdo it, that calls on everybody else to take care of me when I have my breakdown or my meltdown or whatever. If I overdo it, then I'm actually putting all of that on someone else. And so this was, I thought, who do I want to have to put this on if I am not balanced with my guest and my time and my energy? So, and because you've been one of them that's had to, and Kitty too, and Carrie too, have had to be there for me in the past. And so this way I just took it easy. We didn't eat the best, we didn't eat the worst either, but it has motivated me that I want to have just a menu for any time I have guests that is good for me and good for them, something that I just didn't plan it. And I was used to just eating part of my meals and part of my fuelings. And of course, my guest, I didn't want to share with my guest necessarily because I'm stingy. I didn't think she'd fully appreciate them. So I found myself, I found myself overeating, things that I wouldn't normally have eaten. But for next time, I will have a menu of, just think out a lot of lean and green meals planned ahead of time and probably cooked ahead of time too.
So you just worked yourself through what happened, what you want to have happen, what's missing, what's next.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
brilliant. That was awesome. A+, A+, A+.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Just plan,
Yeah.
plan better. That's all. Like.
Yeah. And I just realized
And you're responsible, aren't you? You're responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just realized as Sharon was talking that I think what I'm going to do is listen to the Optavia Monday nights when I do my dishes, because invariably after the weekend, I have extra dishes that I've, just kind of taken it easy and not kept up on. So that will get 2 important things done at once. I can listen while I do dishes. Yeah.
That's what I do all the time in my circle clock. I have my recording time because I'm rarely on live because it's past my twilight time.
Yeah.
Which, but I did, but I gotta I haven't missed them in 4 years. I always get something out of them. So I highly recommend.
Yeah, I like to sit and take notes when I listen to something. I have to be fully into it, but then I don't have time to go back and do things. So listening while dishes is better than not getting it at all. So
Right.
or while cleaning or whatever.
Your brain's
Or
gonna
while
lock
walking.
on. my brain always locks on, Candace, too. You'll find it, I'm sure too, that just that one or two things you needed to hear, right, Sharon? Those little nuggets.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Mhm.
Yep, absolutely. Bravo, Candace. Bravo. Honestly, that's fantastic. That is really cool. Very good work. What about, let's see, who hasn't had the opportunity to share?
Oh,
Sandy or Margot? Tom, did you have a win of the week you wanted to share?
yeah,
Or
yeah, I'd like to share because I have to go. I have to do something in about
okay, did you
10
have
more minutes. So I'd like to
teachable
share right
moment?
now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm keeping track. I've been sitting around a lot, probably because of the winter months and stuff still. So my body gets sore in the evening. So I've been thinking my body just not used to walking around or stuff. So I'm keeping track of. I have a goal of how many steps I want to take a day, and then also how many calories I want to burn during the day.
Awesome.
And so then at nighttime, after 7 o'clock, if I haven't reached that goal, I I make sure I reach it by exercising. So so that so that's helped me out a lot.
Awesome.
And also same with my I'm like Sharon. I have a sugar craving all the time. So I'm trying to. I'm not as haven't been as good as staying one day without sugar, but I'm keeping my mind on it. And after I start getting a goal reached, not to have sugar during the day, I want to keep track like Sharon did and see how long I can go without sugar.
Yeah,
So
that's Tom, congratulations, dude. You gotta focus. You gotta focus, and it's worked and you're working it. That's fantastic. I'm so inspired. And you
Oh,
are,
I-
how old are you, Tom? 70?
74.
74. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You know what? I did something, what I did when I couldn't do my no sugar days in a row like Sharon did was I just kept track. I tracked it. How many days in a month did I do well? Like, or how many days in a month did I win?
Oh,
And
oh,
then
I see.
the next month, can I win a few more days this month
Oh, I see.
instead of all or none? Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I still keep track of my sleep habits that way because I try to one up myself the next month. I'm never perfect at this stupid habit. And
Oh,
I just can't nail it 38
oh,
days in a row. I have, well, no, I'm not going to say can't. I have yet to nail it in a row, like 38 days, like Sharon's done. And I try, I'm, it's still something that there's something stuck in my mind. Like, you do the ready, willing, and confidence rulers. I'm
mm,
still stuck at a lower, like, readiness to
mm.
commit, So what I do is I just track how many days in a month and I try to one up my next month. So that's,
Oh, I see. Thank you.
yeah,
I'll do that.
yeah, try that. So you set yourself up for a win,
Oh,
and then you look and see this month, okay, I got to win today because I want to beat last month, right?
oh, I see.
So,
Yeah.
so like, even if it
If you're
comes
the
down to the
competitive type.
wire, yeah, even it comes down to the wire and month is coming to an end and you're at a dead tie, you haven't done any better this month, maybe you can win that last day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, that's
So,
good.
yeah, so
Yeah.
try that. Thank you for
So,
sharing. Good job. Keep it up.
yeah.
I
Thank
like
you.
that positive slant. Yeah, awesome,
And
Tom, and thanks for
I'm
showing
sorry I
up
have
and
to
thanks for
leave, but
sharing.
Yeah,
I'll,
what's your favorite fueling, Tom? I know you're just an avid, you just keep what's your favorite one? You use them all the time, don't you?
for sugar, you mean, or
The
what
fuelings,
was it?
yeah, dude, what's your favorite go-to with the sugar craving? You like the s'more bar? What's your favorite?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The s'more bar, and then there's a chocolate mint one too.
Chocolate mint
I,
one, your go-to.
yeah. Yeah. Those two I like a lot.
Good. Well,
So
keep it up. Keep it up. All
thank
right.
you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. See you next week.
Yeah.
All
Please
right,
come
see
back.
ya.
Come back.
I know.
Sandy,
Thank
you
you.
can share for sure by Tom. Margot, you haven't had a chance to share any wins of the week or teachable moments. Learn it's. I had a big learn it. I will share with you guys a big learn it this week.
Your mic's open, Margo, but we don't hear you. I don't know what's up
Yeah.
there.
I had a big learn it.
Try it again. Yeah, you had it open.
Is the volume down?
Maybe her volume's down. Go back and watch Dr. A from last week too. Thank you for finding that link, Carrie. Finally, I loved the guy who really was focused on his quality time with family and stuff. And he was a coach, and he was talking about how, you know, this is healthy mind, healthy body, healthy finances. And, you know, the better your finances are, typically, you know, the less stress you have and the better you do at your goals. But I loved the fact that he loved coaching because he had the time freedom that he wanted, which is what I have also loved, is like, I can go to the hospital with my dad. I can go sit at the ER with him when his back was out, you know, I can go by my grandma's bedside when she's dying. Those things are priceless to me. And I've always wanted that, but I loved when he said, this guy, he left his career and he had this great big old like Rolex or something, you know, and he won it from his work. And he said, I wear this every day. And I love this. He said, I call this big watch on my wrist. See this big watch, you know, and he said, I call this my Ignore Your Family Award. And I love that, because he was so clear that time was his priority, and how he spent it and what he wanted out of life was not to be ignoring his family for that
Yeah,
watch.
I did not see that one coming. That was like, what kind of award is that? But that was the point.
And, you know, but the perspective of it is so profound, right? This is my Ignore Your Family Award. And I wear it every day to remind myself what matters most. So think about how you spend your time, gang, and right, how you want to spend it. Margot could probably speak to that, because she's semi-retired but coaching, and people ask her, what on earth are you doing? Why are you doing this coaching thing? And I love, you know, that she's 70.
How's your mic there, Margot? Is it working? Just go ahead and say something. We'll see if
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh,
There, yeah, we hear you.
yeah.
now it comes through.
Yeah. People have said that to you. What in the world are you doing? And you're like, but I love being able to spend my time with my fun people.
Yeah, just trying to get it to connect, but you know, I like Monday night, and just what you said about the guy he got the watch. Wow, he worked a lot of years and put in a lot of hours, and he won this watch. And I can really resonate with that, because the way I was taught and my work ethic was, it was always like work came first. And when I became a single mom, I had to figure out how I was going to manage that, because I needed to have time, of course, with my daughter and to figure that out. But also, I knew that I needed to put time into my job if I was going to succeed with it.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was a matter of determining what really is success.
Mm-hmm.
And when they talk about being a dominant force in your life, I looked at it more as being responsible for your life.
Yes, responsible.
Yeah, responsible. Yeah, I really like that concept. It's just because you do have the freedom of choice.
Ultimately, you're responsible whether you win the watch or not.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to look at it and go, what is that watch doing for my life?
Yep.
What it's saying about my life is that I spent a whole lot of time working.
Yep.
I don't have a watch that says you won this because of family time.
Right.
You know, and that's the watch that I wanted to have.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And doing what I'm doing now, you know, I can honestly say, as much as I loved my careers, I wish I had found this a long time ago. Yeah, because what it is giving people for themselves and for their lives, for their families, is absolutely amazing. And I love the gal when she said, you know, it was so typical of me when she said, yeah, I had 55 days to pack up my home, my family, my children, and make a move to a town that I thought I liked, but wasn't really sure. But she said, I made a decision, so I followed through on it. And of course, it was a great decision for her. but it's the idea that, okay, you made the decision, now take responsibility for it
Mhm.
and make it happen. And I look at so many of my decisions in life were the most spontaneous decisions that I made. And once I made them, and then sat back and went, I made the commitment, and then I sat back and went, oh yeah, now how in the heck am I gonna do this?
Right.
But the great thing is it gave me the incentive to move forward and to do it. When you first approached me about helping and doing coaching and that, I thought, me doing health coaching? My Midwestern steak and potato girl is going to tell people how they should eat and live.
You were
just
already
looking at
doing
my-
it. You were
And-
already walking. You were doing it.
I know that, but I didn't look at it in that way. And once I started taking what I had done, I completely kind of put aside the fact that I'd lost 110 pounds.
It's like,
You know,
yeah, what do I have to share with
forgot
anyone?
that I'd spent over 20 years working in healthcare, talking to people about getting healthy. Then
Yeah.
all that aside, it was like, ooh, I'm going to be one-on-one and I'm going to impact them. And then I realized I'm not here to impact them. I'm here to help them and support them.
Yeah.
And that helping and supporting has done more for me and my being than I could ever do for them. So it's, as I say, I don't think of it as a dominant force. I think of it as a responsibility.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Responsibility. Because you were totally responsibility because you already were living it. You were just kind of blind to the fact that you actually could help somebody like that. You were just like, right. So all I did was sort of just take your blinders off, right? But you were already living it, and you had already been living it long before I even knew you anything about Dr. Anderson. You were already doing it. You were ahead of me.
But it was so natural to me that I didn't think of it that way.
Right, exactly. And you know what, guys, the identity, that next book outside the life book, and Kitty has it called the book called Identity. It talks about how we go through the whole book, and you go through it a couple times like Kitty's been. You have to start making that new identity for yourself based on your values. Is the watch your value? What is your value? What is your ideal for yourself? And how and starting to look at your personal growth, like, you know, it's not like I'm doing a diet. It's like, this is personal growth stuff, guys. This is like, you don't even know who you're going to become. I can't believe who I am. I have no clue I was going to in the last 4 years become who I am. And Margot, you too, right?
Oh yeah.
You had no idea.
Absolutely.
No idea.
And I think the real reality for me is what I needed for myself to be the best me I could be and can be. But how many other people are out there crying for help but don't know where to go?
Yeah.
And we need to somehow get in front of them and to keep getting in front of them till all of a sudden one day they realize, oh, the watch isn't important. I'm important.
Yep, exactly.
And somebody is out there that's willing to help me.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
That's the cool part of all of this.
Yep. And Sandy, and you're back on camera if you want to share. You've been living your life out loud, and you've helped so many people just by being willing to be, you know, Sandy loud and proud. Nobody, you know, and I want to just commend you for that too, because you're constantly out in front of people, just putting, like Margaret said, putting it in front of them, putting it in front of them. Yeah. Has that been for you?
Yeah, I'm is my mic on now? I took me this long to find my microphone again.
You're not officially a coach, but you've been such a mentor leader for so many people, and it's got to be fulfilling for you, right?
Yes, absolutely. All the friends that I've brought to the program and shared my story with, and not as often on Facebook anymore for other reasons, but I still, I still do it. I still intend to.
You're living out loud.
Just everywhere I go, I share my story whenever anybody shows the least bit of interest.
You're living out
And,
loud. Absolutely. Living your ideals and your values, and instead of being stuck in your old identity, you've been living through your new one, and you've been in process.
I was just barely getting to the beginning. I think you shared that Kitty lost her mom recently.
Yes.
Was that the
Yes.
I want to tell Kitty I'm so sorry. My love and prayers are with you. Today is the 34th anniversary of me donating bone marrow for my twin sister's leukemia.
Wow.
And it's always a date that I remember. It cured the leukemia, but she died from infection, so it still was a viable donation. And I think I've shared before how my parents blamed me for her death because I gave her bone marrow. This big long story of crap I had to go through. But now it's a day of celebration because from the very beginning, our birthday is October 5th, 10/5, and this is May 10th, 5/10. It's just an invert. So Sally and I from the beginning said, 5/10 is the day you gave me new life. And 10/5 was the day we started our life. So it's always been a really special day. And I'm so happy I could celebrate it with you.
Wow.
Absolutely. Happy Twins Day.
Wow.
Beautiful memories, Andy. Beautiful.
You've
Well,
given,
and
you've
I
given
always
life
just,
to so many, Sandy.
yeah, and I just saw a pair of daffodils, and I had Steve take pictures so I wouldn't lose your call. I started a scrap or photo album many years ago, 2 flowers together, and I call it my twin flower album. I just keep her memory alive in just beautiful ways that make me feel good.
That's awesome. That's
That
awesome.
just made my day, Sandy. That is amazing.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. And I just have to say, you've been committed to the process and being aware of your emotions and constantly being in that process of personal and development and growth with me. You're a leader, as well. You love training, and you're an innate leader and trainer, right? By education and everything. And I highly encourage you guys to not only sign up for Dr. A's monthly thing, but send it to anyone and everyone, because it is free.
Yeah,
and
I've seen a couple of those and they're awesome. I have been so overwhelmed with time with my mom in the last 2 weeks, but it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
It's
But
just
it's just the number one thing in our culture that needs to happen is the emotional awareness and the emotional
absolutely.
because it's just killing us all. It just is killing everyone. It's destroying. And he talked this last time about how past traumas are stored and they destroy our present, and how
and I'm thinking about all the gun violence lately. It gets back to the same root. Nobody can handle their emotions, so they just go out and just destroy each other.
Just remember,
it's
Sandy,
very, very important.
even you just mentioned stored trauma that you had around your sister, right?
Yes.
That can destroy our present if we let it, right? So being in the
letting it. You need to stop letting it.
Right. So you have to be aware. And so that's why I love those things, because the life book, if you're not aware, you can't change it. And I in the last, go ahead, Sandy.
Like I say, the other two things the other two are the win. Kayak season. I've been out twice this year. I took 2 days in a row, not today yet. And I usually go around the edge because I don't swim, so I like to be close enough. If something happened, I could doggy paddle to shore. I was out of time the other day, so I went straight across the middle of the lake. I've conquered one of my fears. I've been terrified to paddle across the middle of the lake.
The middle.
But I did
Straight to the heart, Sandy.
Yes, guess who said that on Monday night? One of the girls on Monday night. She said she couldn't believe that she made a beeline in her little kayak or her little canoe or whatever across the lake. She felt so confident in her physical well-being, and that is huge.
Oh yeah,
because
she had
I've never done it
with her dog on the board because she wanted to go see that bald eagle.
With her dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've always been afraid, and I just say, you know what? What have I got to lose? I've got a life jacket on. Steve's on shore watching me. He could always find some help somewhere, and I just did it.
Huge.
You
Bravo.
did it, Sandy. Woo.
Bravo. In the last 4 minutes, I want to share with you my experience this week in my emotional awareness. This page, you guys always keep an eye out for this. What Dr. Anderson calls drift, because, you know, our past emotions are stored in there as trauma. And a lot of times we're triggered by stuff, but we slowly drift into this below the line thinking about it, you know, like it's kind of insidious. And we finally, and then we kind of go, what's wrong going on here? And then you kind of realize, oh, I'm totally below the line. Most of the time, it's sort of this slow drifting down process that you're kind of unaware of. And so really every day looking at your emotions, identifying them, labeling them is really good to see, am I in the empowerment triangle, or am I in the drama triangle? Because, you know, just being aware of that every day, making it a practice of thinking about it. And I've been doing that for a long time with the 12-step work too, is like, you know, it's the identifier, the inventory, daily inventory of your, what you did well, what you needed to, you know, want to do better, you know, yada, yada. So daily inventory your emotions, number one. But Dr. Anderson was talking about how, you know, this, you've got to separate yourself from your emotions, of course. Well, I had the opportunity to, I get the drift thing, and I've been working on the drift thing for a long time, and I do my daily thing, but I had opportunity to have a situation where I was up here doing fine. I'm all emotionally well, and I'm all good and regulated. And I had an opportunity to learn this week, Monday. I got into a situation where something I did or said was wrong to somebody, and they were in instant villain mode. There was an attack, and they were being a villain on me for something that they thought was wrong. And I went, in retrospect, after the fact, I went immediately into the drama triangle, into victim, like slam down. Like it wasn't like this the slow gradual, I was like slammed down into this victim mode. And it was a physical slam, you guys. Like the emotion of it was so, you know what I'm saying? Like I got,
total gut punch.
like I got punched and physically beat up, right? And retrospect, looking at it, you know, getting through it, but learning from it, it's like, wow, you know, how powerful the world is in such trauma. You know, we're all playing a victim, villain, hero place. In most days, we're in some sort of seat doing this musical chair thing, but being aware of that has helped me to detach from it, instead of, like Candace said, being wiped out for 3 weeks. It took me a day, a good old day. It took me a whole day to recover from it. But in the past, it would have taken weeks probably to get over it and stop blaming and shaming and getting out of that victim triangle. But being aware of where you are and what you're thinking and why is so freeing. I feel so free because I have the tools, the skill sets, the people and team around me to help me to get right back up into that empowerment seat. And so just don't ever forget when that stuff happens to you, just learn from it. It's a live it and a learn it, not a diet, this whole thing, right? We have opportunity to learn in every way possible. And so I'm just taking it as that. And what a lesson. And it sucked. But man, I just so get it. I so get it. So take a look when you have those bad days. What is it? What's happened? What do you want to happen? What's missing? What's next? Where'd you go in the drama triangle? Where do you want to be? Like, it just really learn, keep learning and growing, because it's so real. It is so real, and it will keep us stuck, or it will keep us progressing. So commit to progression. It's 1 o'clock, so we got to go. But what's the biggest, anybody have a big takeaway they want to say an aha before we leave? Oh, should we take a photo? Should we do a screen shot? Everybody smile. Are you doing it, Carrie? You got it? Okay. So anybody have a takeaway they want to share today? That was my learn.
Miss Tom, oh well.
How do we find, or how do we sign up for Dr. A's, those webinars? Or
the link was in the chat. I can re-forward it to you.
okay, so
yeah.
the
We'll
chat
get it to
today.
you.
And it's in the email, Carrie, too, right? Is the sign up? No,
Not this one, no.
okay. Well, it's in the group Happy Health Habits chat, and from go.
Do you have a minute to send it straight to her, Amy?
Yeah, I can do that now before we when we get out there. So
That way you don't
Dr.
miss any
Amy,
fun.
considering
Thank you.
considering that we're talking about dominant force, I think this is an appropriate time to bring back an old Grandma Davis-ism for everybody to share.
okay, what's the
And
grammar?
that's the two phrases, the good, better, best, never let it rest till the good is better and the better is best. And be a
Ooh.
task great or small, do it well or not at all.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like those.
Oh,
Very
Have a
good.
great week, ladies.
Thank you for your grandma, your Mama Margot moment. Thank you.
Yes.
Love you. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks.
everybody.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.